Hello guys, today I'm going to be ranking NRL teams on how likely they are to win the 2026 NRL premiership. Now I know, we're only in the preseason challenge, but I just feel like doing it. So we start off with the Brisbane Broncos, the premiers for last year. I reckon that if it wasn't, I don't reckon they're going to make it to the premiership this year. Due to the fact they got favoured. Some people have a different opinion, but they got, to me, I reckon they got favoured through the whole final series. I reckon that versus the Raiders, it was like the Raiders scored, yeah, but I'm just gonna rank Broncos because I can't really talk about them. I'm gonna put them in nah. Reese, like, they've got players that can play, like Reese Walsh, Reynolds. Reynolds is more so a kicker, but they've also got a filled up reserve. But yeah, I'm gonna put them in A in the finals because I do reckon that they'll most likely make the finals, just not the 2026 premiers. Next up, we have the Raiders, the minor premiers for last year. I do reckon that Raiders did a bit overachieve last year. I reckon that they got lucky through the year. It was a type. Bulldogs and Raiders were trying to win minor premiership, and because of the Bulldogs losing a couple, Raiders got the head jump. So I reckon they'll be about the same as the Broncos, A in the finals. I'll put them in here. Here they come because they don't have a bad team, but they lost Fogarty for this season, but they've also got Dane Laurie, Kyle Weeks, fast guy, Ethan Strange. They've got they've got good players, and I just reckon that they were a bit of an overachiever last year. Because if they didn't get that second chance, they would have fallen in the first game. So yeah. And next up we have the Bulldogs, Burden's home. So I'm not going to say they overachieved last year. Like, they've been terrible until Crichton came in. When Crichton came into their season, like in 2023 before Crichton came, they were down in 15th, 16th. Then Crichton came in. Next thing they're at 7th and 2nd. That's a bit of a raise there. But also they have the signing of Leo Thompson, which he's a pretty good prop. Do I reckon they'll win the premiership? Nah. Because the thing is, do I reckon they'll finally win a finals game that they can't do? Yeah, probably. But I reckon they'll be same as the Broncos. A in the finals. I reckon they're above the Raiders. Sorry, below the Raiders. Next up, we have the Sharks. They get so far into the finals, like preliminary, every single year, and they just can't make the grand final. Like back in 2024, they had this team right here, if you can see it, and the Storm for 2025. So they've had hard teams to get past to get to the grand final. But I do reckon that this year is not going to be any different, I would say. I think they're going to go a bit down, though. Do I think they're going to win the premiership? They have a less chance of the Broncos. But I don't want to put them in not close because I reckon they will make the finals. So I'll probably put them in the nah. Which, if you don't get what that means, it basically means you're basically in finals week 1 and you just can't make it. And next up we have the Dolphins. So let's talk about the Dolphins right here. So they were only new to the league back in 2023. They came, and they haven't been that bad. Last year, I think they only missed out on the finals by 1 or 2 spots. So it's not bad for them, but like they've got a good side on. If you write this side on paper, I reckon half of the sides that I've still got left, they could smash them. I don't think they're going to come near with the Sharks, because you also have so many more teams on the list. But yeah, so I'm going to put them in the not close category. I reckon they'll finish 10th and 11th. Like they've got some good signings. Brad Schneider comes in from Penrith. If you guys don't know Brad Schneider, he is like a Penrith Panthers Nathan Cleary replacement. But he still, I don't think, is enough to get him over the line. Like they've got Katoa, they've got Hammer. I don't know what else they can do, but you can say that for every single side in this thing. One team has one major player. So, not close. And next up, we have the Titans. Honestly, let's not talk about the Titans and let's put them on YU on this list. You are not coming. They are so not gonna win. Titans, no hope for Titans. They're only their first year into new coaching. And I don't think it can take 1 year to go straight on a path to go whee straight to the like premiership. I don't reckon that is very possible. But yeah, so basically I just don't want to talk about the Titans because I've got no hope for them. And next up we do have the Melbourne Storm. Still great side. Really, the only loss they had was Pappenhausen, which granted, that is a big loss. But they've lost the last 2 grand finals in a row. And they weren't even by big margins. They lost to Penrith by 8. And they lost to the Broncos by 4. So they're not big margins. And also, we count the fact that they came second in 2025, and they also came first in 2024, which I know what you're saying. They are always finishing in that spot because they're just a great side on paper. But Storm, I reckon they'll be the 2026 premiers. Now, I can put multiple in there because I'm just ranking on how likely they are. So I can put multiple there. Next up, we have the Sea Eagles. Probably, honestly, I'll put them in... Just because not much has happened to them the last few years. They haven't made a preliminary final in I don't know how long. And the only really difference is Daly Cherry Evans left for Jamal Fogarty. So if it was the fact that Daly Cherry Evans left, and if he didn't leave, I would probably put them in not close. Just because he's a bit of an older dude. And I do reckon that he's past his prime. And I do reckon that they need someone who is still in their prime. Which Jamal Fogarty, he I don't know how old he is. But I do know that he was amazing last year. And then Sea Eagles just swoop him out. Knights. Why are you on this list? So, for the Knights, nothing's changed. They've lost Jack Cogger. And they've lost Leo Thompson. Mate, why don't you just wipe them off the whole leaderboard? You talk about Callum Pogger and Dan Gagai, and that looks fine. it's just, I feel like their play style is all wrong. And if you watch the Bulldogs match not long ago, versus them, it was just like, it just looked like they're gonna go in the same position as when Adam O'Brien had them. And so yeah, that's all I've got for night. So, and now Cowboys, I'm gonna go with Here They Come. They signed Reed Marnie, an absolute gun for their team, and honestly, they're just a good side already. If you watch back in 2022, how close they came. And they haven't lost that many players since then. Like Valentine Home, fines, he was big. But they've got Drinkwater climbing up to their prime, his prime. And, yeah, so I don't reckon there's much to say besides, I reckon they'll do that one. But, yeah, Parramatta. I'm going to give them a not close with the Dolphins. I'm actually going to put them behind the Dolphins. Just because I feel like they've got a less chance of winning the premiership than the Dolphins. Because looking back on their 2026 season, they were down the bottom with Penrith for half of that season. They still were down the bottom. They stayed down there for the whole season. And they've lost Dylan Brown, which he was a pre-saving grace. And I don't know how much more they can do. Like, they got the Melbourne guy, I forgot his name, but they got him. Remind me in the comments what his name is. But they got him, who signed with Broncos next year though. So they only have him for 1 year. So even if they don't want, so they're gonna lose him. So yeah, I don't reckon they can do that. So cut off. No, Parramatta. Next up we have the Rabbitohs. Why are you on this list? Just because I don't really have much to explain to them. Like, you watch back in 2021, then they're the same side, but I said this for nearly everyone. They're just, like, they're the same side as when they were at peak, but they're just not, like, playing as good as their peak. And I do reckon they'll be better with their new coach who started last year. But which he's not really new to them, so I shouldn't talk. But yeah, it went down when Adam Reynolds went down with them. So yeah. Next up we have the Panthers. They've won 4 of the last 5 premierships. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them yet. They had a very poor start to the 2025 season. Obviously, they travelled to Las Vegas and beat the Sharks by only 6. And then they lost round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6. And I think round 7, and then round 7 they finally won, and they lost in round 8. They won Magic Round. It was such a mixed year for them. I'm just not sure about that. But then you watch near the end of the year, they were just soaring high. They had a big winning streak. I'm not going to put them in 2026 premiers because I don't reckon they will. I'm going to put them in Here They Come. Just because of watching near the end of the 2026 season. I do reckon that's going to go good. I do know that Cleary has been suspended, and I do know that. But yeah, I do just reckon that. Yeah. And next up we do have St. George Dragons or Illawarra. Not close. Clint Gutherson, Val Holmes. I'm just naming all they've got. Kyle Flanagan. They have quite a few. Moses Sully. Yeah, they've got quite a few. And I do reckon they'll soon be climbing up to and Aya in the finals. But right now, they just got to start. Their coach or defensive coach, whichever one, just needs to. I think they need a new coach in general. I reckon if they took the Storm's Craig Bellamy, soar up. It's like the major coaches, like the big bad, amazing coaches, are the ones who have the teams up on the top. But you've got, yeah, and then the bottom coaches, besides the Rabbitohs coach, are all down the bottom. See that? No, you should. Next up, we have the Sydney Roosters. Honestly, they're going to be... I do reckon they'll be a year in the finals. James Tedesco had a sore year last year. He soared through last year. And he didn't have to go to Origin last year, which was very good for him. And then they've got Mark the One Tanitawase, which, if you've seen his tries, you know. He is what I would call an NRL great. But they may lose him next year, so we'll see about that. But yeah, and then you got Sam Walker, them taking Daly Cherry Evans to the squad. It's an amazing way to get their squad ready. Next up, we do have the Wars. Up the Wars! And I'm going to put them in, nah. They're not bad. I just don't feel like they've got enough to win next year, let alone in the finals, because they've got so many competitors that will most likely make it next year that, yeah, I just don't think they can make it. And finally, we have the West Tigers. They didn't look too bad versus Penrith yesterday, if you saw it. This is from when I'm recording it. They didn't look anything